Welcome back. Glad to see you again. Thought today we'd do a nice little easy painting that'll just bring a lot of joy to your heart. So let's get started here, and we're going to start with let's take a little bit of phthalo blue. I like phthalo blue. It's a very nice, warm, bright blue. Work it into the brush. We'll go right up here at the top and just very quickly drop us in a little sky. And use these little crisscross strokes, little X strokes. Leave some little places open. Don't cover it all so it looks like you just painted back and forth with a bunch of blue. We want some life in this guy. We want some action. There we go. And maybe we'll have a tiny little bit of water in this one. Just play a little bit. I love water. Hope you do too. So we'll just do that. Okay. Now let's clean the brush. And we just clean the brush with odorless paint thinner. Shake off the excess paint, then beat the bristles dry and cover the whole studio. There we go. Now we'll just blend this out. And see all these little areas that you left open? They look like little things happening in the sky. Really makes a very effective, quick, pretty little sky. There we go. Okay. Let's take the fan brush today. We'll play a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of alizarin crimson, just a small amount, and Prussian blue. Now the Prussian blue is many, many times stronger than the crimson, so use very little Prussian blue. And just mix it right here on the brush, like so. Now we're ready. And let's go up here and let's just put in a basic little mountain shape. We'll just use a fan brush today so we don't have to work so hard. And there we are. Just drop it in. That's a little bit redder than I wanted, so we'll add a little bit of blue to it. We can change the color right here on the canvas. That's no biggie. Easy to do. The blue is so strong it'll just consume it. There. That's a little better. I wanted a little bit more into the purplish hue. Seems like I wrote a song about Purple Mountain Majesty. Beautiful song. There we go. Now, with a large brush, we can grab this and just pull it down. There we are. And that'll give us a basic little mountain that's far, far away. We don't have to worry about a lot of detail in this mountain because it's too far away. We don't want a lot of detail into it. On some of our previous series, we've really worked hard on mountains to show you how to make them. And this time we've sort of avoided getting into all the snow-covered mountains and just want you to see how to make some different things. Okay. And just by using brush strokes, you can make it look like little things are happening, and you really haven't done a darn thing. It's just impressions. There. Okay, that gives us a nice little basic shape to play with. And we'll wash this brush again. And we're ready to move right along. Okay, maybe we'll take a little bit more of the crimson and Prussian blue, and we'll make some little foothills way back in the distance. I'm going to add a tiny bit of white to that. There we go. Sort of make a little lavender color here, purple. I think we're ready. Now we'll go right back into the fan brush. We're having so much fun with it today, let's just use it for a while. And figure out here basically where you want your little foothills to be. And let's start right here. And we're just going to touch and go down. Just touch and go down. We just want distant trees here. We don't want a lot of detail. Put the detail in the foreground. You know, it's lack of detail sometimes is as important as detail. When things are far, far away, you don't make out all the little details. You don't see every single leaf. All you see is basic shapes, shadows, different colors, but you don't see all the little details. It disturbs me sometimes when I look at paintings to see a tree that's supposed to be 10 miles away and you can count every leaf on it. Look out your window, you don't see that. There we go. Just some quick little foothills. Just drop them in. Okay, now we can take the large brush, and I'm going to just gently tap the bottom of this. I want to create a little misty area right in here. I'm just using the corner of the brush, just tapping. Then we'll lift it up. There we go. Now maybe there's a few more trees right here. Now because the mist is there, these will stand out. It's the same color, but the mist will allow them to stand out a little better. If you put dark against dark, you have nothing. You have to put dark against light, light against dark, continually. You have to play games with it. There we go, just like so. And we have some quick little foothills back here. Now, let's go right in here, and I'm going to add some sap green right into this color. Just right into that lavender color. And mix it up good. Now maybe as they get closer, you're beginning to see more color. When things are far, far away from you, they have a bluish hue to them. It's because of water molecules in the air. So maybe here we're getting into something that has a little more color, a little green to it. We'll just put another layer real quick. Just drop them in. Maybe I'll add a tiny bit more of the green here. I want it to get a little greener than that even. Oh, that's much better. Much, much better. Just let some of these little tones and values happen. Don't overwork them till they turn to mud. Create all kind of little things. Maybe these come right down through here. And every time you put another plane into a painting, it creates the depth in the painting. So often we work so hard to put depth into a painting and it ends up looking flat. Work with layers, with planes. Each plane that you add increases the depth of the painting. Now, let's just drop some little color in here, just a little bit. There we are. And already we have several different planes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. It'll really push that painting back. Now, with a clean fan brush, I'm going to take just a little bit of titanium white, small amount. We'll make it look like little trunks way back in the distance. Just touch, pull straight up. Just a little, just a little. Don't overdo. Just a little. There, knew you could do it. There we are. Now, we'll take a fan brush and put some yellow on it, a little bit of yellow ochre, and sap green. There we go. And then we can begin highlighting back here. Just let some little things happen. And this covers up the bottom of the little trunks that you just laid in and brings it all together. Far, far away. We don't want a lot of detail yet. And maybe there's some nice reflections right here. If we're going to have a little pond, just grab the bottom of it, decide where your little pond is, and pull down. Pull straight down. Let it pick up all the colors. And very gently go across. Isn't that something that you can make a beautiful reflection that fast? And maybe there's all kind of little things happening out in here. Maybe some little peninsulas. Just drop them in wherever you think they ought to be. And we'll take a little bit of the Van Dyke brown. And let's put a little bit of land back here. Just here and there. All these little grassy things have to have a place to sit. And we can take some brown and white and a little bit of burnt umber and very gently highlight this. Just like so. Now, We're going to use a little bit of the magic white, and we'll just very quickly drop us in a little water line back here. Just a little light area to sort of separate all this. And we're using very firm pressure here, just literally cutting right into the canvas. There we are. Okay, that gives us a pretty nice little background to play with. Now we can get in here and really have some fun. So let's go right into, there's some sap green, a little bit of crimson, Van Dyke brown, maybe a touch of Prussian blue, just a very small amount. Okay, now let's go right up in here and we'll just begin dropping in some little basic tree shapes. And we're not worried about detail here yet. We will in a minute, but at this point, all we're doing is just dropping in basic shapes. Don't worry about it. There we go. And you really push this paint into the canvas. Use a lot of pressure. Just get in there and push. Bend the bristles. It's most important that you bend these bristles. Make all these little things happen. There we go. And wherever you think they ought to be, that's where they ought to be. Tell you what, while we have this nice color going here, we can just sort of fill up the rest of the canvas with it. Okay. There we are. Boy, what a beautiful little spot. This reminds me of my home in Alaska. Here a couple of years ago, my mother lives in Florida, and I brought her up to Alaska and took her salmon fishing, let her catch a great big salmon. And she had one heck of a good time. Okay, now, while I still have this brush loaded, let's just make I loaded a lot of paint into the bristles. Maybe there's a happy little evergreen that lives right there. Start off by just touching the canvas to sort of give you a guide. Use the corner of the brush at first. Maybe this one just runs right on off the canvas. And just begin laying in a beautiful little evergreen. Just like so. And here we just have sap green with a little Van Dyke brown in it, just to dull it down. And just push that tree right out of your brush. They live in there. Okay. Now we can start putting some details in this rascal. Yeah. I'm going to take a little bit of the burnt umber, and a touch of Van Dyke brown in it. So we have burnt umber and Van Dyke brown. And let's put us in a basic trunk in this nice evergreen here. Always try to remember to do the thing that's farthest away first, so you have to make almighty decisions. Is this tree farther away or is it closer? If it's far away, then you want to do it first. Put a little highlight on there, a little brown and white, just so it stands out a little. There, something like so. Now we can go back, we'll just use a fan brush. These little evergreens can be made with a fan brush, 1-inch brush, 2.5-inch brush, just about anything. Now I've got sap green on here with a little yellow, and we can just come back and just lay some delicate little highlights here and there. Just let that brush work around and play. Just let it bounce here and there. Don't want to kill all that beautiful dark that you put in there. As you work down the tree, things should get darker and darker and darker and darker as you come down. So by allowing the brush to pick up the color that's underneath, automatically that happens. You don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about it. It happens. Okay, now let's get us a 1-inch brush and begin highlighting some of these things. I'll use a little cad yellow with some sap green in it. Just mix it on the brush so you have a multitude of colors happening here. And let's go right over here on the right side and just begin putting in some beautiful little leaves here and there. Just drop these rascals in. Let them fall off your brush. And worry about shape in your tree. What makes that tree round? Look at Look at how the leaves are. There's patterns in nature, and you need to leave these dark areas in there. If you kill all the dark areas, your trees are going to be very, very flat. Very flat. They'll have no shape. Okay, maybe a few little trunks here and there. It's just a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Okay. Oh, there's a little trunk right there in that little bush. Okay, maybe there's some trees over here in the foreground. You don't really have to make any big decisions yet. In a minute you will. There's another little trunk. Just grows right down like that. And while I've got this brown on the knife here, Van Dyke brown, a little touch of umber in it. Now we can begin, maybe there's some ground showing in places. So we just lay it in at random right now. We're not too worried about it. Just putting the dark in, so when we highlight this, it'll look like land. Maybe there's some that comes right down here. Wherever you want it. There we go. Gotta have a way to walk out here and catch that big trout that lives out there in that lake. Okay, we'll take some brown and some white. Maybe we'll put a tiny, tiny little bit of blue in it, just to gray it down a little bit. And very gently here, using no pressure. No pressure. Just let this glide right across it. And you want the paint to break like this so it has little holes in it. Let some of that dark show through. You don't want to kill all that dark that you've worked so hard to put in there. Let it show through. There we go. All right. Now we can go back to putting some highlights on the bushes and the trees and bring all that together. Little yellow ochre, sap green. Load the brush full of paint. Full of paint. Probably the biggest mistake made when you're painting at home is not putting quite enough paint in the brush. It takes a lot of paint and then a very delicate touch here. We're not using a lot of pressure. Just barely touching the canvas. And because the paint on the canvas is very firm, the thin paint will stick to it. If your paint doesn't stick, then it's not thin enough. Just begin working out little individual bushes. And when you're doing these, do one little bush at a time. I know sometimes when you're watching it looks like you just sock the canvas and a whole bunch of bushes appear, but they're done one at a time. Each one's an individual. Each one has a personality. So separate them when you're in this foreground. That's what creates distance, that you can see layers and layers and layers of bushes and trees, okay? All right, let's go back in here and begin layering these. There we are. Now, if we can look right in here, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 layers right there. That's what leads the eye into the painting. Spend some time working on that. It's worthwhile. It'll pay you great dividends in the end, make you happy. And of course, no one's interested in monetary gains, but if you should be, that's what sells the painting. There we are. Okay. A little bit more of the sap green. And we can just drop some beautiful little leaves right out here on this tree. And it's in front of the evergreen. So show that in your painting. And it pushes that evergreen back, makes him far, far away. All kinds of little things happening here. Now let's go back to the fan brush. It makes such nice, soft little grassy areas. And just begin falling right down like this. Now this is where the lay of the land becomes important. So pay attention to the angles that you're using here. Don't just throw them in at random. Follow the lay of the land. I want this to sort of look like maybe there's a little hill there, a little incline. So do it in layers, doing the thing farthest away first and working forward. Put some little happy things in there. And let a little bit of this ground area show through here and there. Don't kill it all. It's so easy to do when you get started. It turns into fun, and the next thing you know, you've covered up the whole painting. There. Okay. Now we can take just a clean knife, use the point of the knife, and just scrape some little sticks and twigs here and there. These also show different planes in the painting and help create the illusion of distance. Let's go right over here. Maybe we can drop a few in here. And if you want a big stick, turn the knife sideways and pull. That'll give you bigger sticks. There we go. All right, now maybe, composition-wise, maybe this needs a nice big tree that lives right here. So let's take some Van Dyke brown and let's build us a tree right there. And just make a decision, drop him in, go with it. I love trees. They're one of the most beautiful things in nature. And each one has a personality. Study them, make friends with them. Spend some time in the woods and just talk to a tree. I know that sounds crazy. All I'm trying to do is to get you to look at trees and to understand the beauty and understand what makes a tree, what makes each one different. There we go. Now, maybe he's got a little arm that lives right here, and let's just let it wander right on up. There it goes, there it goes, there. Now we can go back in here, make this trunk a little bigger. There. And we can begin putting all kinds of little limbs here. Now you can also use the liner brush with a thin oil to draw in all these small limbs, or it's a super good way to practice with a knife. You learn control of the knife and make it your friend. There. There's one. I see it right there. Goes right up like that. Maybe. Yep, there it is. Another one right there. So, just let your tree just flow right out of your imagination. But have a basic understanding of what makes a tree. Okay, now, let's take a tiny bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of burnt umber, mix it together. And we can put a little bit of highlight on this trunk. There we are. Just to make it stand out. And just highlight the sides you think light would hit on. You have to make determinations where your light source is, where the light's coming from throughout the whole painting. Just here and there. Okay. Now we can lay some dark color in here, and then we'll highlight the dark color, and that'll turn out to be the beautiful leaves that live on this tree. Load a lot of paint into the brush. I'm using sap green, Van Dyke brown, and let's put a touch of Prussian blue into it. Prussian blue will really, really darken it up. Okay, now I want these leaves to be nice, loose, and airy so you can see through them and still make out a little bit of the background behind. So don't kill all your background. Just barely touch the canvas. Barely touch. Leave some air in here. Leave some places for the little birds to sit. There we are. Okay, now maybe over here on this little limb, put some dark color, just so our highlight will show up. You need the dark in order to have light. Okay, now we can go back here with a thin paint, and we'll use a color that's, let's use a pretty bright yellow here. A little bit of green in it, but mostly yellow. We need quite a bright color to make it stand out from all the background. Once again, leave this loose and airy so we can see through it and see that there's a mountain back there. Creates tremendous depth and interest in your painting. look at that. Just barely touch. Barely touch the canvas. Don't kill all that dark. Your tree will get flat. We don't like flat trees. There. Okay, maybe there's a little bit right out in here, like so. And right over here, you need this light color to bring it out from the evergreen that's behind it. There we are. Now we can take the fan brush and very gently here put a little bit of the grassy area around his foot and bring all that together, like so. Okay, I think we have a painting that's about ready for a signature here. So let's take a little bit of the thin oil, a little bit of permanent red, and we'll just sign this rascal. Next week we'll be doing a white canvas. So have your easel set up, big glass of iced tea there beside you. Join us. Think you'll enjoy it. There we have that one signed. And with that, the old clock on the wall tells us it's time to go. I'd like to wish each and every one of you happy painting. See you next week. God bless.